what is the crack, YouTubers? It's the Two Bald Nobz show back on again. It's myself, Skarnir.
And myself, 6 plus Stevo. How are we doing, guys?
Right, the audios, everything seems to be working, Steve. Don't touch nothing.
Yeah, don't touch nothing. I'm
Before
going to
it
have to turn
breaks.
the volume down on that, though, because I've got the actual us playing back on the YouTube video. So I've got 2 of us now. There we go. That's sorted.
Oh, 8 hours, oh yeah. See, I knew something always breaks. Something, it's saying, oh, it'll start the stream 8 hours from now. I was like,
It's because I
Jesus.
jumped on Facebook. I said, guys, we're live in like 5-10 minutes. And they're coming in here like, what, 8 hours? What the hell?
No, there's no 8 hours. It's now.
I
It's
did, I
grand.
did warn you guys. I said, we have our technical difficulties.
I haven't hit the bleeding thing and hard enough with a hammer. I'm telling you. And that's the main problem. So what's the crack? Whoa, through the director, please. What's the story with you?
Not a lot really. Still doing lockdown. I had a barbecue today out on the front garden with a disposable barbecue. Cooked up a few burgers and sausages. It was all right. I've shot another video for the channel, which hopefully will be up tomorrow. Done an unboxing because I finally got my Prophecy of the Wolf box.
Oh, I'm still waiting. Well, it's only because I ordered something else with it. I ordered some BattleTech stuff, and the store I ordered from were like, we don't have it in stock, and we don't know how long it'll be. And I'm like, all right, grand.
Oh,
like,
mate.
It's okay, it's grand. All right, grand. Well, then send me like other stuff instead. They're like, yeah, what would you like? I'm like, I'd like Formac guns, a Was Bomb Blaster there. I'd like some of this, some of that. It's like I'm making me Christmas list now. Just
you
all
got
that all together.
you got some good shit coming by the sound of it.
Well, when it finally does arrive, you know, there'll be a fair few bits there, a few Orky bits to keep me entertained. Yeah.
I'm still waiting on loads of other stuff. I've still got loads more stuff. I've got bits from Puppets War I've ordered, bits from for Fun Minis ordered, all conversion bits and that I'm waiting on for various projects. So yeah, I've still got a fair few stuff waiting on in the post. It's taking its time, but yeah, waiting for that Prophecy of the Wolf. It was painful. It was painful.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Finally getting my hands on Gazzy. Like other orders I've had, I've been alright. I've been ordering off of my local hobby store, and I've been getting like Vallejo paints and stuff. That's all been coming through. I ordered off of Broken Toad. These are guys who do like paintbrushes, and they have their own soap and stuff. So like that stuff's come true. But I've specifically not been ordering out of anything I don't really know. Do you know what I mean? It's like I haven't been ordering anything from Amazon because, you know, as it is, everything's a bit all over the bleeding place at the moment.
It's a bit hit and miss. I've been ordering, I ordered a lot of stuff off eBay, and I've had some stuff, like I ordered some paints, like 2 days later they were there, ordered some other bits, they've been really quick, and then other stuff has been just really slow, taking its time. So I think it depends where it's coming from in the world and post office. Yeah. I don't know how they're running at the moment. I don't really know, but I can see it's had an effect on stuff. But yeah, I was just pleased to have it now, finally in my grubby little mitts. And it's cool. It means I've got another video coming up soon as well, because I've got the I did get my luxury collector's edition of Saga and the Beast. I got that a while ago, but the normal book that I ordered from my buddy, I ordered from another retailer, so that came with the Prophecy of the Wolf. So now I can do my comparison review vid, which will be coming soon. I'll be doing that very shortly, but I need to have a good look through both the books and see what is different and whatnot. So that'll be something to look forward to. But yeah, there's quite a lot going on channel. We've obviously got our War Bosses of the Apocalypse show going as well.
Yeah, that's true. Once a month.
Yeah, first episode in the bag. Second episode coming soon. We're going to be talking about the clans, so that'll be a fun one. But what are we doing today? What are we talking about today? What are we talking about today?
Squigs and squiggly beasts. And...
You know why Squigs have been on my mind, don't you?
Yeah, well, yeah. You haven't had like a squig brain transplant recently or anything like that, has it? Because you've been a bit.
I think I started out like
that. You've been a bit squig mad lately. Like, you haven't been to the bad docs, have you?
No, not quite. But I have been painting up these dudes. Now I've got nothing to hold behind it, so they're probably going to be
Alright.
out of focus.
Get
But
his
do you know
cam
what?
codes up. Shazam!
There you go. I mean, I will show these off on the channel soon in like a showcase, but I won't do it yet because I'll wait till the tank busters themselves are done because they're still half done. But after doing some of the Death Dreads and that I've been doing recently, I needed a little break and I needed something a bit easier. So these were quite nice. It just took me a few days to do. It's a nice break to I'm breaking up my painting by doing. I go from a big unit or a big vehicle to doing like a lone character or a small little unit like these fellas.
Yeah, it is. It's weird painting stuff up. Like, I like that you've done yours in purple, by the way, so they're like invisible bomb squigs.
Yeah,
That's a very nice
they're
touch.
definitely more pink than purple, but yeah, they're sort of between the because I base coat them with a purple and then highlight with a color that it is actually called Warlock Purple, but for all intents and purposes, it's pink.
It's pink in your eyes, is it?
Yeah, and it does. I mean, it doesn't quite pick up on probably the camera so well, but yeah, they are. I mean, they are. Yeah, I do like the idea of stealthy Squigs, and yeah, I just wanted something a bit different from the regular orange. And with Squigs, it kind of gives you free reign, doesn't it, to paint whatever
Oh
colours you
yeah,
want.
they can be whatever color you want them to be.
And I did ponder the idea of painting them all different colours because I've seen a lot of people do that, but I kind of like them being all themed and
the uniform,
yeah.
like they've all come from the same sort of.
They've all been bred from the same.
Yeah, from the same
squid pen.
pits together. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, that'd be cool. I've just been trying to chip away. I'm gonna dig out some of the miniatures I've been painting. I've been working on the skin on my Ludus, so I've been doing like the highlights and stuffs. So I've been chipping away at the skin on these guys. So the skin on these dudes is now 100% complete.
Nice.
So it's
Very nice.
getting there. They're starting.
Doesn't look like there's too much more to do on that fella.
No, there's like, especially some of them. It's. I'm just chipping away. I'm like, I don't have a super structured thing. It's just, I'll have 10 guys and I'll muck away in them. And then some of the commandos as well for the list. You can tell like it's just like base metals on most of them, and I haven't done the camo. But I'm just right now. I'm enjoying painting up the skin for these guys. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. Looking really effective. Very cool.
Just painting up commandos and stuff. So the skin on the commandos are the loot is, and then more recently I've been messing around with green stuff. That's what this grease-proof paper I have on my desk is. It's literally like sellotape to my desk so the green stuff doesn't stick, and I've been starting to muck around. I want to do sort of like Desert Outriders. This is my experimentation bike. I tried out my Panzer Races weathering set on it. That's why its wheel is done in the rubber colours and all rust and stuff. And then I'm trying to green stuff like bedrolls and tarps. I want to be able to put bits and pieces, give them a bit of character, look a bit more blood axy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a cool look. They've got all their packs and the gigs. They're out at long periods of time, scouting out enemy encampments and stuff, and being up to sneaky, crafty, no good business as always. It's cool. It's a good way to tie them in and make them look more blood axy. You run the risk of them looking a bit Evil Sons or something sometimes, don't you? Or Cult of Speed.
Well, you could have a blood axe Cult of Speed. I think that's another thing that people forget. Is Cult of Speed doesn't mean that they're Evil Son. You can have a Cult of Speed that's a different clan. It's just that most Cult of Speeds tend to be Evil Sons. The majority of them, doesn't mean all of them are. We have a fair few heads in the house saying hello and enjoying your bomb squigs. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. I've been painting for once at a very slow pace, and I'm starting to mess around with green stuff. And that's why I'm not too bothered, I think, in part with not having me box set for Saga of the Bull for the Beast or whatever they called it, because of that much stuff to be getting on with.
Same. It was to be honest, for me, it was more agonising waiting for the book, because I had the download version, but it's just not the same.
Yeah,
I like to sit and have a good thorough look through the book and work, start forming strategies and things and thinking of things like that. But yeah, in terms of the miniatures not being here, it's definitely good because it kept me from getting sidetracked and stuff. I mean, I'll be working in a minute. During the stream, I'll be carrying on work on this. My Death Killer Wartrike, who is coming along nicely. Not a whole lot more to do, really. He's just base colours at the moment, but he's almost ready for his wash. I'm just kind of at the tidying up stage now. I've been doing a bit more freehand. I did them on my live stream the other day, the checkers, which I've started doing. And since I've started doing them, I love doing them because I'm not very confident with the freehand stuff. But once it's done, it just adds to it. Like I loved it on my Death Dread, on one of his shoulder pads. I put the checkers on there, and it just...
I saw that, yeah.
Just does something. I do love it. And then obviously Bad Moons as well. They love having their black flames. So black flames over the yellow is quite effective as well. So I've been doing that on a few things as well. Mm-hmm. And I'll be applying that to a few more shoulder pads and stuff of some of my boys and some of my tank busters and stuff.
I'm loving your gold bling exhaust intakes as well.
Oh hell yeah!
I thought they were. Yeah, I was like, of course. But it looks really, it look visually, it looks really well because it's sort of like they're focal points for your eyes. You're like, you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, checkers and stuff. It's
worth going that extra little mile on little bits like that. And I mean, black flames is if you're not confident with checkers, doing things like flames, especially for Bad Moons, because some people do flames like the fire colors and stuff, which looks really cool. But for Bad Moons, it's kind of a popular motif of theirs to have flames painted on over the yellow in black, and it's really, really easy to do. It's probably like the easiest thing for anyone to do freehand. I just draw a rough flame outline with a pencil and then just paint over it in black and just sort of, it's easy to do and it looks quite effective.
I do actually, I did flames years ago. They're bleeding naff now, but I have this is like the first kit bash sort of plastic hard custom build I ever bothered with. It's this grot tank, and I did something similar, but it's bleeding. It's horrendous, but it's hilarious.
I can't think it looks too bad. Actually, it looks all right.
I never got around to finish it, but this was made from, I think it's like a 1 in 76th scale, or do you know the really small scale tanks?
Yeah.
The ones that are, they're a little bit bigger than like Hot Wheels cars, but you can see, you can see like where the original Sherman is. It's like here in the middle of it, and then I extended out the sides.
I think it looks all right. It'll be it's half done, isn't it? So I mean, once you get the rest of it done, and that you'd probably apply the battle damage and stuff, and that's what I mean. This great for me as someone who can be a bit messy in the painting stages and trying to neaten everything up. It's so nice when I come to one of the final stages of the painting, applying the battle damage. And the rust and the chips and the bullet holes and stuff. It's so great because there's bits sometimes I'm trying to tidy up a little bit and I'm like, do you know what? Fuck it. I'll just remember I fucked that bit up, and later on I'll put a big scratch over it. So it'll just cover that, bit up, which is really handy for like things like the checkers and that. If I'm like, oh, it doesn't look quite symmetrical, it doesn't, I'm not seeing it. I'll put a bit of scratching and stuff over that, so it'll hide that little bit. Which is so handy for orcs. It's so useful. You can hide all kinds of sins.
You can with weathering. It's not an excuse to be a lazy git, but you can get away with blue mortar.
It's quite like I see like a lot of people do their weathering early, like in the early part of the thing. They'll layer it over, and then they'll do like the salt and the hairspray tricks and stuff, which is really cool and looks great. And then you sort of paint over it, and then it chips, so it kind of gives like a pretty more realistic look because the actual paint is flaking off and exposing the bare metal underneath and things like that. So it is really cool. But I like the way that I do it in that I paint everything up like it's just rolled off the factory.
Yeah.
And then I go in, and then I work on a story of it, like what's happened to this thing, why. I sort of think the reasons why certain bits are scratched and you pick out the right areas. I like having that control over where the battle damage is. Like, or edges are going to catch all the time. That blade's going to have seen a lot of action, so he's going to scratch the paintwork off his chopper and, bits like that. So I do like doing it in that way. And it, like I say, it's handy just to be able to hide some of them fuck ups.
I like how different people do different weathering. Now, I have a miniature here that is not mine. It was a gift off of a friend of mine called Canvas One back in the day. And this is from, like, we're talking like YouTube 10 years ago, sort of. And he's done, this is a scratch build that he did out of plasticard. I barely get it in shot, but you can see more specifically what I wanted to talk about was the weathering that he did. And you can see that he's done it in oranges.
Very nice.
Yeah. So that's all stippling with brushes, and then the chipping as well. Yeah, you're talking about like the edges. So like if you're dealing damage, you're thinking of the edges where stuff's gonna wear. You know what I mean? Like this is a prime example. This sits on my desk, and I'm like, I have to be able to build better than this one day, because this is all plasticard.
It's beautiful. I love the blue. I love the.
It's a filthy
midnight
Ghazghkull,
blue.
but like his weathering is like really good, and that's just like stippling, starting with a darker orange. He told me how he did it, starting with a darker orange and then working your way up into like 2 or 3 orange colors.
Very cool.
But yeah, Canvas One. Give me he still has a channel out there. Give him a poke. Get him to make YouTube videos. You know what I mean?
Well, we seem to be quite good at that lately. We're getting all kinds of channels springing up. It's great. We are expanding. The WAR continues to grow. We just broke 1K members on the community.
Yeah, mad.
That's impressive. That is awesome. So thank you everyone in here who I imagine is already a member of it. I see a lot of familiar names, so I'm sure they all are. But what we're meant to be talking about Squigs, aren't we?
Squigs. This was what you were. I think you were going Squig mad, so it's like.
Well, I had them on the brain. I'm like, what topic can we have for this episode of Bald Nobz? And I was like, well, I was just in the middle of painting Squigs at the time. I'm like, well, we haven't talked much about Squigs yet, so let's cover Squigs.
Right. Well, what was it?
Well, there is a multitude of Squig types, isn't there? You've got your Squig hounds. We've got our attack Squigs, bomb Squigs, oil Squigs, hair Squigs. We got Squig lights, which were mentioned in one of the stories in the Saga and the Beast books. I think when they're infiltrating like a snakebite lair or something, they're going through the corridors and they see all the torches on the wall, and they realise that they're actually live Squigs with like lights coming out of their mouths or something.
I remember that. Yeah.
There's one of you got the oil Squig on screen now. Awesome. On the old school one as well.
This was mate. I still have the White Dwarf that this was in. It was from like 2006. I think this was like £3.50 when it came out or something like that. Or you know what I mean? I'm looking back at old emails and it's like, oh, the Mega Force was this much and that much, and I'm like, Jesus. Yeah, so that's my Oiler Squig that I have that I still haven't. I still haven't painted up like most of my collection, but we'll get there, lads. We'll get there slowly.
But yeah, Squigs, they breed them in all kinds of varieties, and then obviously you go into they're part of the same family is the Squigoffs and the gargantuan Squigoffs as well, which are usually bred, or at least the best ones are bred by the snake bites.
Yeah, the snake bites sort of like specialise. That's their shtick. Like they're
they seem to specialise in breeding the best Squigs, don't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, Squigs, like if there's a job to do or you need a tool for it, there's probably a Squig for it. Yeah. I mean, even like I say with the hair Squigs, because a lot of people will see to new players and the untrained eye, they'll see orcs with like top knots and stuff, and it. People probably assume that is just the orc's hair and they have a top knot, but orcs are inherently bald, like us, and they don't have hair, they don't grow hair, but they obviously love having the top knot look. Makes them look really cool, so they breed hair Squigs, which is literally just a big load of hair with a mouth on the end of it, and they basically get this thing to bite down on their head and it clamps on, and that's it. You've got a hair Squig.
Yeah,
It's just,
yeah,
you say it out loud, it sounds
it
fucking
sounds
ludicrous.
mad.
And it is ludicrous. Jigs in the comments is saying bong Squigs now.
Oh,
I think that was Roxy that set that one off.
oh,
Yeah,
Jesus.
they're chatting to Roxy in there. She's made some kind of bong squig, which was shown off in the community group. Oh, buzzer squigs as well. That's another one. Buzzer
Yeah,
squig.
they are mean-looking mother truckers. Like a lot of the old school books, I don't have it to hand, but a lot of the old school books have pictures of them. So there's like they literally have a squig that they chew on to clean their teeth. They have like there's the face biter squig where it's like that's the one that we've seen more often. I think if you have the war boss, the metal war boss, there's the face biter squig. Usually in the old lore there's a really cool picture where it's like they'd be fighting against there's like a competition between the orc and the face biter squig to see who eats who quicker. There's loads of them. There really is. There's loads of them. Absolutely loads of them. If you can think of a situation, there's probably a squig for it. You know?
I've just grabbed a second ed codex because I know on the cover we see how
which one was actually really good for a lot of the squigs? The Warg the Orcs had a lot about the squigs. So if you ever get the chance to read the PDF, or if you're lucky enough to own a physical copy, Warg the Orcs has a lot. That's a lot about it.
We've got another one in here. The sniffer squig.
Boop. There you go. Sniffly squigs.
And you can see the look of them. The sniffer squigs have been specially bred and developed by runt herds for the purpose of herding and controlling herds of runts. They have been selectively bred for their speed, intelligence, ferocity, and endurance, but most of all for their extremely sensitive sense of smell and keen ears. And it says they sniffer squigs to track down runaway snotlings and Gretchen whenever they might hide. And it literally looks like a rat with like a sort of almost like a anteater pointy nose, because they were back in the old days actually like little furry creatures. Like
there's loads of different ones.
You see the one that's shown. I think that's an attack squig there shown with Gazzy and his boys on the second edition codex. But he's very different looking from the modern incarnation of squigs.
What we're used to now.
I had a lot more variety to them, and they were a bit different. I kind of prefer the looks of them nowadays because they look less orcoid, because they are all part of the same fungus, the same strain. Because you get your squigs and your snotlings, and then followed by your Gretchen, and then last of all followed by the orcs themselves that emerge from the fungus patches.
Well, this is it. Like a few of them are saying that Essex Boy is saying hair squigs never knew that. It's like, yeah, hair squigs are both a fashion statement and a medical squig as well. So it's like a hair squig's like a pair of pincers. There's like the little body of it like your fist, and then the rest of it's a tail. And what they do is when they put it into the orc skin, it'll clamp down and then live off of the blood of the orc. That's what keeps it going. So that's how they grow the hair, if they leave the tail on it.
Leech or something.
Yeah, kind of like a leech, but with like pincers. That was the lore for it. And then, so yeah, if you see like orcs with top knots, that's what they're all supposed to be, is hair squigs. But there's also the medical use for them in the lore that they say about it, where they'll use it. Say there's like a big gash on the orc. They'll use the hair squigs to clamp down, and they'll twist the tail off them. And then it'll, when it heals, they just fall off eventually, like. It's cool. Like, there's so much about the orcs that I think they just don't go into. Cool. Yeah. There's so much.
Yeah, they sort of touch on it, don't they? But if you dig into some of them older books, there's loads of little tidbits of information that has no relevance to the game itself, but is just great for the fluff and to build the character of your army and get your imagination going and stuff. But yeah, there's literally a squig for everything.
For every situation, yeah.
But yeah, it's funny seeing his Essex boy's reaction to the hair squigs because mine was much the same because I didn't realise that. Like you just think that the orcs themselves have got top knots and stuff, but yeah, it's you got face biter squigs.
There's loads of them.
There's just literally an endless bloody supply of squigs. But there isn't an endless supply of squigs for 40k orcs, which is why my bomb squigs, they're done from the Age of Sigmar squigs, which I absolutely love. Such a good set. If I think when I reviewed it on the channel, I said, like, if you buy one box, you get 10 of them in the box. You buy one box of them that's going to fill all your needs. Because, like I say, I've got 5 there that I've converted into bomb squigs. I still got a load more that I can use for attack squigs. I can use them for squig hounds. There's one in there that's actually got a snotling or a grot in his mouth, like trying to escape. And as soon as I spotted that, I'm like, that has to be a squig hound for one of my runt herds. It's just got to be looking like he's chomping on one of the grots that's trying to escape. But yeah, there's just so much you can do with them, and they're awesome. I love the sculpts of these little guys. They got so much character to them, and I think they're the best squigs anyone produces. Personally, anyway, my personal preference. I just absolutely love them. I think they're the best squigs that GW or anyone has ever made. I think.
Jesus, that's high praise right there.
Oh, it is, and it's well deserved as well because they are absolutely gorgeous. They really are. They got so much character to them. Nice bit of detail, a lot of variety between them all. They all look different, but still sort of uniform. You know, you can tell what they are, but they've got that still exaggerated look with just a ridiculous mouth full of teeth, but slightly less cartoonish than the old ones. Although a lot of the old ones are really cool as well. But and there's loads of third parties out there that are creating squigs, all kinds of varieties. I've seen like bionic squigs. Some of them are quite cool. Little robotic squigs and stuff. Yeah, I've seen all kinds of things like that. Yeah, all sorts like Cromlech, I know, make a load of squigs. Some of them quite big.
Well, they come in all shapes and sizes, so...
Yeah, Age of Sigmar is a really good place to look if you want some squigs, actually. Look to the goblin armies and stuff and have a look at the range of squigs they've got. Because they've got the... What's the other ones they got? They got the squig hoppers as well, haven't they?
Mate, I was looking at them, but what do you get? 10 in a box, and I think it's like €40 or something. I was like, they're nice. They're not that nice.
Yeah, it's really annoying because I want one of those. There's one of those I want because he's got... I think it's the one that the lead squig hopper, I can't remember the exact name of them. They've got a specific unit name now. A nicely copyrightable name. But the head, the lead goblin riding the lead squig has got like the squig's wearing like armor over its face and it's shaped like a moon. Oh my God, I have to get that and get rid of the grot off the top of it and have that as my boss's attack squig. For the bad moons, obviously, and I thought that'd just be so cool. But that's the only one I want. So I literally either I need to buy the box and then sell off the rest of the contents or trade it or whatever, because I literally just want that one bit out of it because it is so damn cool. But yeah, probably less you could do with those. Although you could use them as counts as stuff and all kinds of things, I guess. Yeah, you've even got, what is it, Forge World? I used to make them. I don't know if they still got them on the site. The big giant squigs that are like spitting stuff out.
The two of them. Yeah, I know the one. Gobber squigs. Yeah, the ones that are shooting out
If I was doing a feral orc army or a snakebite orc army, they would be my mech guns.
Yeah,
straight away. They would be my mech guns.
I think that's I think I've seen that somewhere. Somebody's definitely had the same idea.
That's the trouble, isn't it? You think you've come up with a cool idea, and there's always someone who's thought of it first.
Yeah, but
done it.
You know what I mean? That's the good thing about the orc community is that's the whole thing is someone comes up with a good idea. It's like, oh, that's great. I'll have a bash at that. You know what I mean?
Oh, plenty of stuff to steal. Oh, hello. What's this? Roxy Derivator, Stevo. I got you. Just shoot me a message after the live chat. Yeah, I certainly will, Roxy. I certainly will, because it sounds like she might have that squig I was just talking about. Oh, Roxy, you're an angel. Thank you.
Squigs
That's
you've been
cool.
looking for. Jesus, look at the previous state of this thing.
Having a bit of trouble there with your green stuff.
Well, see, because I'm doing it, I should be leaving it alone for a while so it's less sticky.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll muck around with it. But
I mean, I can't really offer much criticism because my green stuff work is it's the only thing on these squigs. It does the job, but I made little straps, green stuff straps to strap the bombs to the squigs.
well, yeah, that's what I did with the tarp, but I'm not happy
Yeah,
with them. Like it's a little,
yeah. I mean, it looks all right,
know
but
what I mean?
it's not fantastic work, but
Could do
it
better.
does the job. Yeah,
Hey,
the
minutes on the
learning
sun's
process.
here. Wait, what's the crack? What's the crack, bud? I've been subscribed to that guy since like back in the day, so it's good to see him back making videos.
Yes, definitely. Good to see people coming back and
More
new people starting, old
yes,
people coming
old
back.
people coming back in, more new channels. If you're thinking about making an Orc YouTube channel, do it. Definitely share your projects,
Definitely.
man.
Do it, and then share your videos on the 40k community, because there is a load of green skin lovers there that are just dying for more orc content. Because, well, I don't know, going back a few years, there was very little, wasn't there? Very little.
Yeah, I don't know.
Part of the main reason I started up a channel, like, no one's making the content I want to watch.
Yeah,
I have to
like
make
even
it myself.
even myself. Like I don't think I started actually cracking on with YouTube stuff, and even now I'm a lazy git. But I think you started up a channel, and it was through like Idic's unification group. I was like, which one of you gets a Stevo? I needs to know. And that's how this beautiful thing started.
That's it.
I was like, what's the crack? But you know, this is what I don't get is like some people would be like they'd attack each other. It's like, oh, well, I'm the orc dude. You know what I mean? But it's like,
Yeah.
collaborate, build stuff together.
Oh, definitely. There's yeah, you haven't really run into much of that. You'd expect it to be quite a competitive environment, but actually, and I'm sure it is in some places, but it's not the experiences I've had. It's generally, yeah, everyone's supporting each other and sharing each other, and that's the way to grow it. And it's great because it's all well and good making videos and making content and doing that, but sometimes you just want to watch content and enjoy content that someone else has made. So it's for me personally, it's amazing that all these people are either starting up or coming back and making content. And even if they're covering the same stuff as you, like say you review something, and then like a few days later you see someone else has reviewed the same thing. It's good because you get to see a different perspective on it and a different take on it. And I mean, I quite often do it myself when I'm watching a review video. On something I'm particularly interested or wanting to buy or whatever, I'll watch a few different people review it and get their different perspectives and takes on it. And
oh well, yeah, because like you said, different people will say different things about it.
Mm-hmm.
Even product on openings, like I don't know how many Orcs start collecting box sets openings I've watched. It's like I have all the miniatures, but like half the time I'm just sort of watching it, to see like the person's take on it, or you know. It can be you're just watching it for their sort of character as well. So it's like, oh, it's a box opening. I know what it is. I have it all. But it's, you know, the person themselves can be entertaining depending on their format as well. You know what I mean? It's always good to show support as well. But yeah, we still don't have me Saga of the Beast. But we'll get there, lads. We'll get there. It's not the end of the world.
Won't be long, mate. Won't be long. Every day now on the community, everyone seems to be slowly, bit by bit, getting their copies. They're starting to ship out now, and things are slowly, tentatively returning back to normal, bit by bit.
Like I've said, it's not like I don't have a shed load of minis that literally need building, so I can't exactly be giving out.
I've done a lot in getting this army ready, but there is still a fair bit to do. And I keep almost veering off into other projects.
That's the same problem with me. Like trying to get the 1,500 points done. I still haven't done like my 1,500 point video. That needs to be done, where I just sit down and talk about it. Navani is saying, Scanner, you can just 3D print it. I could, but my 3D printer is not built yet. And I'm a busy man, like, still working.
3D printers, man. I want to go. We have to do like a video on this at some point because I think 3D printers are awesome, and I think what they can offer the hobby is awesome, and what it's opened up, brilliant stuff. But so many people seem to think they're the answer to everything, and it's like we've got to get real about this. They're not cheap. They're not as simple as a lot of people make out. There is a certain. It's almost like I've heard you say it yourself before. It's almost like another hobby in itself.
Yeah, it's a second hobby pretty much. Like it's a whole rabbit hole in and of itself. This is the second one I've had because the first one went a bit squiff. But like when you're building it, unless it's a complete kit, like the one I got, I spent 4 hours building it, making sure it was level, making sure everything was done correctly. You know, watching tutorials that's saying, do 3 revolutions of this when you're putting it together and that one, and so it'll be loose enough so that the Z-axis screws won't bind when they're printing. And it's like, all right, I'll do all of that. And yeah, it is. It's a hobby in and of itself, but it's like it's just another tool. So it's like the airbrush.
Some people, I think, they kind of think it's literally going to almost like kill off a load of companies. It's going to replace things. You're not going to go and buy stuff in the store anymore or buy stuff online. You're just going to download everything and print everything off. And hell, look, it might reach that point one day, but I don't think it ever will fully. I think people are still going to buy kits. People are still going to work with plastic art. They're still going to work with green stuff. There's still a multitude of ways. It's just another avenue into it. But I mean, I've had people sort of almost preaching to me that, save money, get this, because then you print them off and it's this much cheaper. And everything like, yeah, if you're doing it in huge quantities, but like the cost of the printer, the cost of stuff like that, it's going to be a while before you're in profit. And that if you're heavy into this hobby and making all kinds of stuff, a lot of stuff, yes, it's something good to go for, and providing you got the space for it as well. But for your kind of everyday hobbyist who's probably not that deep into it, I wouldn't probably recommend it to everyone. It's
no, it's not for everyone. But like I said, it's a little bit like the airbrush as well. It's like a tool that some people use, and it's a hobby in and of itself. But you can use it to supplement this one. But it's not going to be for everyone. Like,
it's not for me. It's just it's you see these demonstrations of airbrushing on YouTube or something like, that saves you so much time and everything. Like, yeah, but you're not showing all the prep work. You're not showing having to clean the bloody thing out and look after it and maintain it and finding a spot to be able to use it. And I don't know. It's to me like, all that. One of my biggest,
like anything else,
the painting is setting up. Like, so when it's already there on my desk, like, I could just sit down and get the brush and start going. That keeps me going more. If I had to do a lot of prep work every time before I paint, like, that wouldn't help me.
Well, it's all about setup and habit, and then it's like with anything, with learning anything, there's gonna be a learning curve. You need to get past that initial curve. It's like when you first started learning. Oh Jesus, I picked the wrong brush for this. It's like when you first started learning to paint. You know what I mean? You were frustrated and angry. You just need to get through that frustrated threshold with anything. It doesn't matter whether it's 3D printing or airbrushing or learning to sculpt or whatever you're putting your hand or mind to. I think that's a problem that a lot of people expect is we look at people who are really skilled at something. We expect, that's our expectation then of what we expect the end result, but we don't take into account the hours upon hours that someone will put into something, like how many days or years of their life they've dedicated to a specific task.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have to sort of get through the learning curve. Not everyone's going to be a pro at something straight away. Some people are really gifted and have a natural knack for it, but even they can improve over time as well. You know what I mean? So just measure yourself against yourself, your past self, your improvements.
That is the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's what I do. I generally compare myself against myself. So, like, if I'm painting things up, my sort of benchmark is to a standard that I'm happy with. Is that the best that I can do? Is that, how does that compare to miniatures I've painted before? And yeah, rather than trying to compare yourself to other people, everyone does it to a degree. You see things, you're like, oh, that's much better than I could do, or whatever, or much better than I've done. But yeah, I generally don't compare myself to others, because otherwise you're always going to be unhappy with your results. But if you are constantly improving, then it's much better. You just try and make each one better than the last, really.
This is it.
And then you're doing all right. Or even sometimes maybe not even better, maybe just quicker. That's something.
Yeah,
that's more what I would like to achieve now. Keep the same standards, but get quicker. That's kind of what I'm kind of trying to get towards now.
But there is that as well. There's learning when to go absolutely nuts on a paint job, and learning to just go to a certain standard. Like, that is a skill in of itself, is learning when enough is enough.
Yeah, when to call it done. And you can cut some corners. You don't need to do everything perfect. Not every single color has to be perfectly shaded and edged highlight. There's lots of things like on like a lot of my boys' trousers and stuff. It's just a flat color with a wash over it, and that's it. And it looks fine. It does the job. And then other bits like the skin, I'll go in with a lot of highlighting and stuff, and I'll do a bit more work on it. And certain bits I will edge highlight and pick out in more detail.
Yeah, it all depends. Like, like me messing around with green stuff work. Like, it's getting there. It's not great, but it kind of looks like what it's supposed to look like. So I'm happy enough with that. And then me painting as well. It's like I've noticed that I've started to get better at painting the orc skin myself personally from when I first started doing it. So I'm like, yeah, there's going to be some disparity between the first guys I paint in my current color scheme and my army, and then the last guy I paint for, like, my 1500 point army. You know what I mean? There's going to be a little bit of difference, but it's all about painting by the numbers at the moment for me. So it's trying to get as many of them painted up, and I have a set scheme. I have a set color set palette I use for the skin. I just stick to that, and I just keep trucking away with it. You know what I mean?
And that's it. Pretty much what I'm doing. Just slogging on. Just keep on trucking.
But even that is a sort of a discipline in and of itself, is learning, like, how much time will you spend on a miniature. It's like you could spend 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours on one miniature, and then you're looking at yourself and you're going, well, I have to paint 200 of these guys.
Yeah.
Especially if you're wanting to play games with just painted miniatures, which I understand not everyone does. I've no issue with people playing with unpainted miniatures myself. Playing with painted miniatures does look nicer, I will say that much. Of course it does, but I don't expect everyone to play with painted miniatures, because it is such a large investment of time and skill. But yeah.
Oh, it is a massive investment in time.
I think that makes you appreciate it, though. Would you agree with that? Like, I think
100%, definitely. When it really is. And like, do you ever do this when you've recently finished a paint job on something, that you just keep going back and picking the mini up and looking at it and admiring it, and just sort of pleased with yourself, just that feeling of achievement that I did that. Took a fucking long time, and it was hard work, and there was a lot of swearing and stuff. But it looks really good now, and I'm really pleased with it. And it's that feeling, and it's a great feeling, and it's a well-earned feeling.
It's a weird one for me. I'm not used to playing with painted minis. I think I had a bit of a reputation of being the guy who didn't give a give a rat's about playing with painted miniatures. It was sort of like a protest of my own. It's like, oh no, sure, I don't play with painted minis. Why would you do such a thing? But in hindsight, I'm like, I could have painted so many orcs.
Yeah.
But whatever. I was enjoying playing the game. But, you know, you don't have to paint your stuff. You don't have to be into painting your stuff. Because
Well, certainly not at the beginning. You know, you want to get playing and learning the game, don't you? Otherwise, you know, not only is it a massive monetary, you know, hurdle you've got to get through to get an army to start with, but to paint it all and everything, to then this will be ages before you get your first game in, because it takes years to get an army painted, years, depending on your standards and stuff. You know, there are ways you can get them done really quickly, but if you're going for a good standard, it does take a bloody long time. So you have to allow yourself and others a bit of to be able to, you know, if someone's starting out, certainly to let them play games before they've painted them.
Well, it all depends as well. I suppose it ties in is everyone enjoys different aspects of the hobby more than others. There are people who just paint. There are people who just want to play the game and don't want to paint the miniatures and don't give a rat's. So I think, you know, we also have to take that into account. Some people just want to play the game and you know, maybe they just want to play in tournaments and they don't care about painting miniatures. They just see them as chess pieces, really, which is how I looked at them for a long time. I was like, it's just a sort of a piece so I can play a game. So it didn't bother me that it was unpainted, you know what I mean? Whereas other people are like, no, I really like the painting aspect of the hobby, and I can see that as well, and they've no interest in playing the game whatsoever. They'll just rock into their GW store or shop online. Whenever they see something they like, they'll buy it and they'll paint it, and maybe, you know, they won't actually make an army. They'll just buy miniatures they like and, you know, have a little collection over time. And then there's everyone in between, you know what I mean? So some folk are good at like customizing stuff. That's what they really like. Other people just like playing miniatures the way they are. There's, you know, so many facets to the hobby. There's so much that it can offer to different people. Just enjoy whatever aspect of it you enjoy doing, you know.
A lot of people on here chatting about KISS, which stands for Keep It Simple, Stupid.
Oh, I thought they were like Knights in Satan's Service. That they band.
There's I never push. Oh no, yeah, God gave rock and roll.
That's not the song that came to my mind, but yeah, I get you.
Yeah, we're not talking the rock band Gene Simmons. Yeah, keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple. I never push boundaries. I just do a base color, wash, dry brush, and it looks good. Yeah, they can look really good. I prefer the hobby aspect over the game, says Roxy. And Rivets and Daka says, KISS, not my way, got now finished. Lesson there.
Yeah.
It's finding what works for you, isn't it? And I think a lot of the people, I keep losing my train of thought because I'm painting up my boss from my Death Killer War Trike. And I've just realised that at some point his snagger claw has come away. I've literally only just noticed it. And I remember I dropped him fairly recently on my floor. So I'm hoping that snagger claw is still around there somewhere. It didn't go up the Hoover. That's slightly worrying.
A bit of plastic cards would be grand. That didn't sound too...
Yeah, no, it's the bit that attaches to his little reel with the chain off it. I've literally only just noticed it. I don't know where the bloody hell that's gone. It's doing my nutting. I need to find that. Ugh. Bloody
carpeted
paint.
Floor. I've quite a few friends who have carpeted floor where it's like if the bit disappears on the floor, that's it. It's like a black hole. Grey carpet. It's like, oh, great. Good luck to finding that, mate.
I remember where he went, and I remember dropping him, and I dropped him down here, just under the desk. He went under, so I'm hoping the bit that came off him is under there. Do excuse me, guys. I'm going to go under
I'm
the
literally
bed.
like, live. Steve-O search for your lost
I'm
bits
gonna
on the
search.
floor. Are you...
Do excuse me.
As you can tell on the two bald knobs live streams, we like to keep it professional around here. Oh, here
Fuck
we go.
professionalism. I found it.
Hey!
Fucking chill out now. You have no idea, man. That sort of shit would
Stress.
just eat me up.
Oh, where is
inside.
it? Where is it, man?
Honestly, man, I got one little bit that got broke off my Ghazghkull, and it's been bugging me ever since. And it's like really quite an insignificant little bit, but it's killing me. It's literally eating me up inside. I don't like damage to my minis, man. Oh, there it is. I got to glue that bit back on.
I had to go. See, I was a lazy bugger initially. This is what happens to me. I get sort of like conversion paralysis, where I'll buy a kit and I'll be like, oh, I'll convert it up. So, because I always wanted to play the game first, I'd half build something, because I'd be like, oh, I'll paint it later. I'll come back and I'll convert it later. So I'd half build something, and then by the time I get back around to actually fully building it, I'm trying to find a piece off of it. I don't even have it in the case there. It's in one of my cases built down. But in the Ghazghkull or Morkanaut, there's the gun arm, and there's like the arm piece that sticks out. The gun sticks up here, and then there's this little tiny bracket that's kind of like this shape. It's only tiny piece. Do you remember? Because I knew. So that kit first came out in 2014. So I knew what bits box it was in for 5 years. I was like, right, I need this bit. I have a feeling I know what it is, and I think I spent 2 hours in a bits box going bit by bit.
You know it's in there somewhere.
Like, I know it's in there somewhere, and I found it eventually. But like, boy, Jesus.
I remember saying to you recently, I was annoyed because my battle wagon that I still haven't finished building, because the gunner, I wanted him with the binoculars.
Oh yeah.
Like, bloody, I've lost the fucking binoculars. I know I've got them off somewhere. I have no idea where they are. I can't find them because I had all the bits in the box of the battle wagon. Just the other day, I found them. They're still on the fucking sprue.
Yeah, but because it was the little bit.
I was so adamant that I had cut them off to dry fit it and test it all out.
You pig.
And I hadn't. It's still in the bloody sprue. Like, result. So yeah, I'm now no longer painting. I'm now doing a repair job on this Ghazghkull.
Well, this is it.
It's because it's got the tiniest little connection bits to actually glue it. It's quite rare that a plastic bit comes flying off like that. You expect it from metal. But where's the plastic glue? Generally melts them together. The other problem with sub-assemblies, I find...
sub-assemblies do me bleeding, not in me.
When you come to gluing them, trying to get, like, not have paint on the bit where it joins, because otherwise it does affect... You can still... I've glued stuff together that's got paint over it, I've glued and it still sticks. But it doesn't give as strong a fix because it melts the paint and that mixes in with the glue, and then you don't get as good a stick with it. And usually it's quite easy to like just make sure that little bit scrape the paint off.
Scrape the paint off that specific part, so you get some plastic on plastic action.
Little bit of blue tack on the join. Put that over when you're painting, and then you can slop your paint over and not have to worry about it. And then peel the blue tack off, and you've got your nice little bit there. Do that sometimes, but it's not always an option. Sometimes, depending what the bits are, it can be a bit more fiddly. There we go. He's got his little chain Ghazghkull bit back on. See, that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't sub-assembly, but once I've got... I think what I'll do as well, what I do quite often with a lot of sub-assembly jobs is I will paint... we haven't talked about Squigs at all.
It's like we're talking about Squigs, lad.
We'll talk about Squigs a bit more in a minute. But what I quite often do with sub-assemblies is I'll paint them up to a certain level. So what I'll do is I'll paint this guy up, and then I will wash him and that, and then I will stick everything together before I come to the highlight stage, because all those bits that are hard to get to in the highlight stage, you probably don't really need to highlight anyway, because they're going to be the bits that are darker because of shadows. So you want the highlights on the more. So I kind of make it part easy for myself. So I'll partially paint it sub-assembled, and then I'll just go, I'm going to put the rest of it together and then go in with the final stages afterwards. Because, yeah, these sub-assemblies are killing me. But my God, if I'd built this Death Killer War Trike without sub-assemblies, oh my God, I don't think I'd ever paint it, because I'd just look at it and go, no.
That's the state my one's in.
Oh.
It's like, oh, Jesus.
Looked at my Dakar jet the other day. Not my Dakar jet, my Blitzer bomber. I'm thinking, I want to get some paint on this soon. And the Ork pilot, he's not inside there, because very sensibly kept him separate, because I don't want to get to it. And then I went to remove the Grot Gunner, and for some reason, I've glued the Grot Gunner in. I'm like, what? Why the fuck have you done that? That's going to be a bitch to paint now. So, yeah, he'll be fun. Squigs, so do you have any Squigs in your army, your 1.5k list?
Me?
There must be an attack Squig at least for your boss.
I don't have a war boss, I don't think. I've got like Big Mech with Custom Force Field, Big Mech with Shock Attack on. Snake Rot, and a Weird Boy.
Ah, okay, so you got Snick Rot. Okay, so he's kind of taking the place of a regular war boss, I guess.
Yeah. We're going with a team army. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, they're scared here. There's no commandos in your army.
Yeah, you've got to do that. You've got to do that.
All right. Jesus Christ. All right. New commando Skarnir.
It'd be like me not having any shooter boys.
Don't mind me. I'll just bring my smasher gun Skarnir. Don't think I don't know what game you're bleeding playing, all right?
Hey, I ain't got no smasher guns.
Yeah.
I got a fuck ton of custom mega cannons though.
Yeah. Well, you just kill boys. Poor Dread. He won't be happy about it. You'll be pissing on his parade when you play against him eventually. Boy, Jesus. He'll be like, oh, battle wagons. And you'll be like,
boom.
Come here to me.
Don't scare him off too soon. He's still got time for him to change his list again.
I know. Dread, pick and stick. That'd be a bleeding forced.
I was pleased to see on his recent live stream, though, he was actually getting some painting done.
Fair play to him.
Good stuff. Let's see if he can catch us up and overtake us. Well, my army now literally is either everything in my 1.5k list has paint on it.
Oh, sweet.
Everything. So probably I'd say, get them here because I've got my work in progress down here.
I think I've got like me 4 HQs and a few grots, like 20 or 30 grots that don't have any paint on them, really. But apart from that, yeah, everything else is pretty much nearly at the. It's got at least.
My tank busters, they're virtually ready for their wash. I've just got to go in and tidy them up. They've got all their base colours on. I've just got some of them need a second coat and tidying up and neatening up, but they're really close to getting finished. Same with my other grot unit. The thing that needs the most work is my shooter boys, who have literally just got the metallics and the green skin done. So they're probably the least
close cam.
They're the least complete, but even them are, have got, even on the table, you can see what they are. But yeah, with tank busters, get a tank buster out. They're a bit more done. They've got, they're to a degree, they're, just even with just flat color, they're kind of to a reasonable tabletop standard of being able to, see what they are and play with them. But I will finish them and get them all done properly. So I want to go back to Squigs again, and because I know you've got a massive, extensive collection of stuff.
Well, I've stuff. There's still Squigs I don't have. Like there's the Squig Hound. There's an old school Squig Hound miniature that I would fucking kill to get me. Oh, this looks good. That I would kill to get me hands on, but I never managed to get it. There's always miniatures. Even I don't have some miniatures, especially the rare stuff. This is fun, actually. Surprisingly fun.
Robert Marshall in the comments is saying about contrast. He didn't have the money. Then he had the money, wanted to order a load of contrast to help him get his army done, and then the lockdown happened.
It all depends, mate. It all depends. I'm not a...
They're not for everyone, are they? I've seen great results with them, and they are good for certain things. And I think, like Navani, I think, is saying in there that he uses contrast for his skin, but then he uses other stuff for the clothes and various bits. So, yeah, I think some people use them, sparingly and on certain parts. Bad Moon Bill says, I use contrast as a shade paint. And then Rivets and Daka says, contrast paint's not my cuppa. Dread, they are his cuppa, and he took that very literally.
Yeah, I was about to say, quite literally.
Knocks them back like they're tequila slammers. But yeah, I was going to ask you, so do you have a Squigoth or a Gargantuan Squigoth?
I have a Squigoth. I do not have the Gargantuan Squigoth. I did once upon a time save up for it, but I don't have a Gargantuan Squigoth, but I do have a Squigoth.
So you got the Forge World Squigoth, have you?
I have the Forge World, the normal one that's about yay size.
Yeah, I'm jealous. It's one of my definitely in my top 5 of like all orc miniatures. I love that one. I like it more than the Gargantuan one, actually. I don't know why. There's something about it. I love it. And I will have one. I will get one eventually.
Dim has the Hobby Gear. He has both. He has the Gargantuan Squigoth.
Nice.
Because I was taking the piss out of him. We were playing a big mega battle in Warhammer World a few years ago, and he brought it along. And at the time, whatever rules it was using in Forge World, like my looters couldn't put a dent in it. So I was taking the piss out of him. He had painted it purple and had, failed to see what purple dinosaurs tend to get called. I was like, him and his bleeding Barney dinosaur over there. So that's what he calls it. He calls his Gargantuan Squigoth is called Barney now. Because
you've got to, haven't you? You've got to.
Giving him shtick over it.
That's cool. I keep coughing. Excuse me, guys. I keep coughing and spluttering. But it doesn't help because I keep in between cough taking another drag of my fag.
You fucking wise man here.
I'm hardcore. There you go.
But yeah, you were saying the Squig, so you don't have the Squigoth yourself, no?
Not yet. Is it still available through Forge World?
So last time I checked, you could get the Squigoth and you could get the Gargantuan Squigoth.
Yeah.
What isn't available so much anymore is a lot of the
loads of stuff.
Is a lot of the guns and stuff that used to go on, like the cannons and the super lobbers and those type of things, like the auxiliary stuff. A lot of that.
But they're easy to convert, or
you can make them yourself. But the Squigoths themselves are available.
Yes, I will have to get one of those at some point. Definitely. I like the idea of running my tank busters around in a Squigoth, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
looks like.
Quite cool.
I think people forget it's like snake bites aren't the only ones who have Squigoths. It's just they breed the biggest and the best ones. But there's nothing, you know what I mean? Like orcs trade amongst themselves or they steal stuff. So there's nothing to say that your badmillions wouldn't have a Squigoth.
Oh, definitely. They've got my bamboos can have whatever they want. They got the teeth to buy it. They run into a snakebite tribe. They either dacker them up and take what they want, or they trade with them. And yeah,
this is too sticky. Should have left it. I'm trying to make straps here, making an absolute balls with. Whoops.
So you got that Squig. Since I'm doing the Death Killer War Trike here, they've always got that. What's it called? The Squig Buggy? That's what it's called, isn't it? The Squig Buggy.
Rocket Truck Squig Buggy.
Rocket Truck Squig Buggy. Now that's got a load.
That's
of
a mouthful. That's
yeah.
Because
It throws out all kinds of different squigs out of that thing. And if you want a variety of squigs, then you get them with that one miniature, don't you? Because they got a whole crate load of squigs that they're lobbing out and loading into the guns. And
I've one here. They have like
the mine
sub
squigs, is it?
assemblies.
Squig bombs, the mine squigs, whatever. That literally like
Yeah, they have a little mine
flat
squig,
squigs that look like they've been sat on.
but they've a little there's like a trough or a supposed to be like sucks up squigs into the gun, and the gun shoots it out. So there's like a squig dude there. Like this is in sub assemblies as well. I've built this as much as I can before.
Yeah, that looks
You
like
know.
an absolute bitch to paint.
Yeah.
If you fully built that, that's literally impossible to paint.
No, it's
Impossible.
like the newer stuff. You really need to sort of be like sub-assembling it. This one's not too bad. Some of the other ones that have cabs on top, they'd be an absolute pain in the ass. These wheels would be good though. Like this bumper could be good for like conversion bits. I know Dredd did something with his engine. He did something different.
Yeah,
with it.
I do really like the Rucker Truck squig buggy. I saw it on what was it, Kyrioff's, when he was doing the range review. He kind of said that he found that was probably the least
Hold on
impressive.
a minute. Yeah. Does this not look familiar?
To what?
The community, that community post. Do you know the way it's a saw that's literally exactly like this with a hook
Yeah,
on
it
a
does
pole
look-
arm?
Yeah,
It's
very.
it's exactly like it. I'm like, see what's going on here. That'd make it good. Do you know what that would be? Like that's huge compared to a boy. Like if you were making like a mega boss with a buzzsaw,
Yeah, hell yeah.
nick some of them. Tell you.
It literally looks like they've just nicked that straight from the Death Dread kit.
Yeah,
Or
I think it's
and-
I think it's smaller than the Killer Cans and Death Dread kit. But, it's not a bad
We still
size.
don't know what that is yet, do we?
Only time will tell. Only time will tell. I only have an old Dreadnought near me, and the only Dreadnought I have that's a new one is in absolute bleeding bits. The poor bastard.
Well, I have plenty, but they're all downstairs, stored away,
He's seen better days.
sealed up, away from the dust. And put it into cases. Oh mate, this Death Killer Wartrike is becoming a real pain. It's so close to being done, but I'm just doing
It
the
looks
really
it, man.
boring bits now.
It does.
Really
It does
boring
look it.
bits now.
Killer Can arm. Everyone's like, Killer Can arm scare. Are you blind? I was like, I know that. I meant like that. Yeah, I get you. All right, fair enough. I get you. I deserve that. All right, fair enough. I deserve that. I do. I'm waiting for this to harden up a bit so I can cut me some straps. That's what I'm doing next. So I've flattened out a piece here and I've tried to not make an absolute balls of it. So I'm trying to make it like a tarp. So I'm gonna do strap down points here, there and there. So I'll get it. And so I'll flatten this out and I'll cut it out and just do like little strips and I'll tuck them in underneath. Yeah, it'd be cool if I had like little belt buckles or something like that. I'll have to figure out a way to do like belt buckles, but for now I'll just make it look like it's strapped down or something like that. You know what I mean? Little tarps. I think they are the little je ne sais quoi. I'd like a few of these. I can get. I might see about there's Tamiya kits. You can get like jerry
yeah.
cans. These are the Warhammer 40k ones. But I want to get like more of these and stuff. And I'm thinking about like replacing the front facing, and then I'll make little racks on the front, and I'll have like either fuel, or I'll just put like sluggers and choppers and stowage and all this type of stuff. That's what I'm aiming for. That's why I put like this one on the front here and that. And I need to get some ammo boxes, and then I'll try and drape some green stuff over them a little bit and make it look like they're.
We'll just put like a box on them so they all look like a pizza delivery bike or whatever. No? Just like a Just Eat, just for the Just Eat bike. Did somebody say Just Eat?
There was a video game in the arcades. I remember something like that. It was
Paperboy?
No, it's called Pizza Man. I played Paperboy though. That was on the Ataris. I think we played like the Atari Classic, where you're going along as a paperboy and you're just throwing papers into people's windows. No
Yeah,
cares.
everyone did the same thing. No one tried to actually get the good
it.
score. They just tried to smash as many windows as possible.
Wreck everything. Just wreck everything.
So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. There's some really good arcade games back in the day, but you don't get arcades like that as much anymore, Stevo. That's what breaks me bleeding heart.
Oh, same. Arcades are dead. arcades are dead. It's a real shame. But I don't think they're ever coming back, even at least not in the way they were. But yeah, I used to love, if you got your name on the high score at the arcade, that was.
Oh
that,
yeah. Oh, definitely, yeah. That was a big thing. Someone beats you. You'll come in and someone's beating your high score in a game, and you'll be like, "Right, that's it, lads."
I remember being in arcades as well, going back to them and looking and saying, "Oh, these motherfuckers! They unplug the arcades every bloody night, and they wipes all the bloody scores off them. What's the point in that?"
Yeah, what is the point? Oh.
But they tend to not sort of go for the high scores and stuff anymore.
That used to be a thing.
Oh, it was long before anyone was gaming online and stuff. That was the sort of community part of arcades, wasn't it? You'd always have those arcade kids hanging around they'd always be hanging around telling you what buttons to press and everything.
Oh,
Usually
yeah. I get you. Oh, do this. This is a special combo. Do that one. Up, down, left, right.
Games of Street Fighter, where as winner stays on, someone would have been.
Oh, yeah. There'd be like one guy sitting there for hours on end. He's like the pro, and everyone lines up to play against him then or something. Yeah.
Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or whatever.
TLC Creation says, we had an arcade pinball shop open up near me last year. They were doing great business before the bug hit. Yeah, it's I reckon a lot of small businesses are gonna bite the bullet over this, but there's not much we can do. Try and support them, I suppose, if you can. Try and support your local businesses, but not everyone can afford to do that. Some people are currently, barely able to feed themselves. So we're fortunate in that regard. But what can you do? What can you do? I know friends who've lost their jobs. I know people who are out of work. You know what I mean? It's affected everyone. I think that's the crazy thing. It's affecting everyone.
I think it's affected all of us. Probably to greater or lesser degrees. I mean, it's certainly affected me. It's just weird.
It is, yeah.
It's just strange, really strange. And I just, that's all I keep saying. It's just strange because I don't know how. There's certain aspects of it that I've been enjoying. I've been quite enjoying being off work and getting some hobby done and that. But I do miss my freedom. I do miss being able to go out and do whatever I want and not being stuck in the house.
Get a game in or something. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do miss playing. I miss playing. I mean, it's been amazing because obviously, again, it's taken the fact that it's taking a lot of things away from you. It's giving you the time to get hobby done and focus on that aspect of it. But I must admit, once this lockdown is lifted properly and we can start socialising again, I do really look forward to playing some games again.
Yeah,
definitely.
I was only starting to get games of normal 40k back in, and then I was playing BattleTech. So I wouldn't mind getting some of those games back in again.
Well, the other thing as well, I want to, for the channel, I want to do tactics videos. We've got all these new rules and new stratagems and whatever now. I really want to be doing tactics videos. I've had a few people message me saying, when are you going to do some more tactics videos and stuff? I'm like, the trouble is I'm not playing at the moment. So it's all it's not fresh in my head. And I feel like I need a refresher game and a warm-up game. And I need to be able to actually be using this stuff and having some experience with it.
Well, that's it. Yeah, there's no point in giving advice on stuff you're not using yourself. You know what I mean? That's What about Tabletop Simulator? Have you tried that? Yeah, I know a lot of people are trying Tabletop Simulator.
I haven't, because for various reasons. One reason being I don't want to do it and run the risk of it distracting from me getting shit done.
Yeah, no, I get
Which gaming does, and it's also like, well, this is fun and this is easy, and I don't actually have to paint much or whatever to be able to play the game fun, and I'm like, oh, that could be quite dangerous.
You're afraid of being tempted away from actually playing the game physically. It's like, hold on a minute.
Yeah,
I could build a whole army in this.
Yeah, to a degree, I am. It is, and I don't think it ever would do that fully, but it would to a degree. And I try this PC that I've got. I use it just for the channel, and I said to myself early on, I'm not going to fill my PC up with a load of shit or games or whatever, and I've stuck to that. So
Good, you're better off, man.
Oh, Robert Marshall says, Stevo, bro, I will bring my guard down for a game. Be aware I have lots of Rust tanks. That's all right, mate. I've got lots of tank busters. But bring it on. No, it sounds good. That sounds good, mate. That sounds good. Marcus is in here. Hey, Marcus. He says, just stream Tabletop Simulator. And Nick Tomlin, Stevo, South Coast Rubble soon. LOL. I think he means Rumble. But yeah, that sounds great. That sounds great. I'm looking forward to it. I'm getting a lot of people message me recently wanting to meet up for games and stuff. So I think once this lockdown's lifted, I'm going to be sport for choice for opponents, which is going to be really cool. And I mean, hopefully some of them live fairly local to me and be able to come round and be able to get some battle reports going up on the channel, which is going to be very cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man.
Obviously, I mean, we're going to be doing bat reps, aren't we? Obviously, we're going to be getting obviously why our primary reason for getting these done at the moment, so we can do our big 4-way boss battle.
That's it.
Which is going to be a lot of fun. But I do look forward to taking on other opponents and other factions as well. I'll certainly be having another rematch against Nick at some point. Take down those dastardly tin heads once and for all.
Show me his boss.
I'll try to anyway. Probably go there and have him wipe the floor with me, but at least my army will look impressive as it's getting blown off the table.
Well, it looked nice for all of the 10 minutes it was on there, but you know.
Well, I think that happened on the last one, actually. I think probably one of the only units I had painted was my killer cans, and they were the first thing he shot off the table. It's always the way. Painted stuff always dies first.
Is it like, oh, here's the latest thing I painted up, mate, and it just dies a death. That always kind of happens for me. Get it off, yeah, burst. There we go. We're changing the blade. Let's see if that helps. Every time I try to cut this green stuff, I still think it's a little tacky to make straps out of it. It keeps going. Arseways. Necrons. Oh, there's a lot of filthy Necron infiltrators.
Oh, I thought Nick was in here then when you did that.
Navani. Nick Beard, the legend. Yeah, Nick's sound, man. Nick is sound. He's good people's.
Oh, he's a cracking guy.
Robert's like, as soon as you said Nick, all I heard was Necrons. Yeah, that's him. Filthy tin head.
That's how much he loves them. He renamed his own daughter by deed poll to Necron Girl. I've heard him when I'm round there. We're in the middle of a game. He's like, Necron Girl, bedtime, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Dinner's ready.
Could you imagine calling your kids like Squig or something? I'm sure the missus wouldn't be too pleased with me.
Well, I do refer to them as snotlings quite a lot.
Yeah, the youths, spores.
Yeah.
Spores, the littlins. Definitely. What am I going to do with this bleeding tarp? Like, I'm happy with how it's sculpted. I just need to leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Let it set for a few minutes. Do you ever get like that? It's like you're trying to get something done and it's like, no. Stop touching the bloody thing. Just leave it alone.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at, trying to paint these little glyphs on this guy's shoulder pad. And for some reason, they're just really bloody fiddly.
Tear this way. Away. I'll get a fresh blade out. Hopefully that'll help as well.
I'm just neatening up all the black bits. And it's very tense because usually I'm not bothered if I make a little mistake. I'll just paint over that bit later. But when I'm painting the black bit on a yellow bit, I'm like, I really don't want to get any of the black over because it's going to be a ball ache to paint back over that in yellow.
Yeah. I know what you mean. The darker colour over the lighter colours. That's part of the reason why I'm not a massive fan of the contrast stuff because, especially for newer players, your brush control needs to be absolutely crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you'll come into that same instance where it's a case of, for me personally, this is what I found. you'll do your lighter colors, and then your darker ones. You know what I mean? And it may be a case of, yeah, okay, logically, if you think about it, do your darker colors first, but you can't always. That's not always the case. You can't always do that. Like, you know what I mean?
No,
When
it's
when
so
you're painting
different for
something.
every miniature, isn't it?
Yeah.
Doing it at the time.
I mean, ideally, yeah. I like to paint me miniatures from the inside out. So, like, if I was doing this bike again now, I was only using it as a test piece type thing. But, like, you'd want to start from the innermost details and work your way out. So, obviously, you'd paint the wheel first, and the inner spokes of the wheel, and then go out and do the fender afterwards. But as you can see, like, there's still some red in there because I was just testing with this guy. But, yeah, it's just like thinking logically. I was explaining that to the missus, how to paint. I'm like, you'd paint from the inside out. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, if you're painting yourself, you'd start with your skin, because if you messed up your skin and got it onto your t-shirt, you're going to paint your t-shirt second. You know what I mean? So you're going to be painting over that area anyway, so it's not the end of the world. That's why when I'm painting the orcs up, it's like, I'll do the skin. I've thrown some base colors down, but like the skin is the one that's finished here, because as you can see, it laps up on. I can afford to be a little bit messy here, and it'll lap up onto the straps and the uniform, and that's fine because I'm gonna come back in and at a later stage when I'm painting the straps anyway and do them up. So they're not painted at all. They were base black, and then they got a little bit of mess on them from the grey. I'll do the uniform next. I don't know what to do with the skin, actually. I'm thinking about doing camouflage stripes on them, but I don't want to ruin it as well. So it's like, I haven't decided yet. Like, I really like how the skin's turning out. It's like, I don't want to be spending ages and then I just put a big bleeding blob of camo stripe on it. And it's like, meh.
Yeah, it's going to be a brave move, man, isn't it?
I think I'll need to do a test model.
In the same way that you see like a lot of Death Skulls players putting like blue war paint on and stuff.
Sometimes it looks absolutely amazing, and sometimes it's like, Jesus, I just ruined a good paint job.
Yeah. Maybe you want to get an old orc miniature out and.
Yeah, I think I'll do that. I think I'll have to do a test miniature, which is another thing I've slowly learned over time, is when you're doing a color scheme, sort it out before you decide to batch paint 30 of them. Jesus.
I like to do one miniature in full first.
I could do a patch.
And then see, how it looks as a finished thing and go, yeah, I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to paint the whole unit like that. But yeah, I did that with my killer cans. I painted one up just from start to finish. Happy with that. Now I can crack on with the other 5. Did the same with my grots. Painted Bob up first. Made sure I was happy with him before I did the whole unit.
And then cracked on. Alright, we'll put a bit of water on the blade so we don't.
And write down what you do. I write down, I've noted down all my colour schemes. So like for my bases, for my skin, for my clothing, for different armour panels. I write down what I use as the base colour, what I wash it with, what the highlight colour is. And I do all that so that it's, because I forget all the time, and you can't always tell by looking at the pots and trying to remember, and looking at the model itself. It's sometimes quite hard to remember what colours you use, and you think you're painting with the same colour. You're like, oh, that's a slightly different shade.
I am a messy git. No, I know what you mean. It's sort of like your recipe book. I was talking to Mrs. Skarnir about that as well. I was like, because she does baking, but she doesn't write her recipes down, so she likes to experiment when she's doing her baking. And I'm like, do you not have a recipe book? And she's like, oh, yeah, but I don't use it. I'm like, yeah, because like when we're doing miniatures, we have the same thing. We're supposed to have a recipe book where it can make life easier for you if you're... Get down, you bastard.
Yeah, I've got a little recipe book in the kitchen, actually, with some of my signature dishes. I've written down all my...
What's your specialty there, Stevo? Are you going to...
You
don't have to tell us your trade secrets now, you know what I mean? My
specialty is probably my lemon cheesecake. Ooh. Or my peanut butter cheesecake. Them would be my 2 specialities. I'd worked for a little while. I did a apprenticeship as a chef for a little while. It didn't go well. I didn't like it at all. I hated it. because I thought I really like cooking
Cooking.
and making things, and I thought this would be a great thing to do as a career, and I fucking despised it.
Yeah. Now
I hated it.
I've worked in I've worked in hotels and stuff like that, and I've seen what chefs have to go through, and I'm like,
Oh, brutal,
oh no,
brutal.
fuck
It's
that,
not
mate.
for the light-hearted. And I didn't like the restrictiveness of it, because when I cook at home, I take my time. I don't follow the recipe. I change things. I tweak things. I'll make it up as I go along and just come up with something different. And that's what I enjoyed about it. And when I was there, I was following very strict kind of, this is the menu, this is the thing, this is how it's got to go. And yeah, it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me.
Apparently, Essex boys, he's a chef for 30 years. Fair play to you, bud. Fair fuckers, Jesus.
Yeah, chefs, they're grafters, mate.
They're
They don't fuck about.
Fair play to them. Definitely. Like you can always, you have to be in the good side of the chefs. As back when I was a waiter or barman years ago, you know what I mean. You'd keep them well hydrated, and they'll keep you well fed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
that's how it
definitely.
works in the kitchen. You know what I mean? You get something decent, especially when the head chef wasn't around. You know what I mean? Maybe it was his day off. You'd be like, oh, but you gotta sort us out with a bit of something there, but yeah, no bother. You gotta sort me out with something to, don't worry, I'll keep you well hydrated, chief. I'll never trust a skinny chef, that as well, yeah. Yeah. I've always, do you know what it is? I've always liked how, the process of how stuff's created. So I was always fascinated with the pastry chefs of just mixing and, how, it's the same with anything, really, I like going to distilleries and seeing how whiskey's made. I don't drink a lot of whiskey, but I like observing the process, kind of.
I bet you like that show, didn't you, how it's made?
Yeah, I liked how it's made. I like seeing how stuff is made. I just have a curious mind. So when a chef's sitting, making something, I used to torment them. I'd be like, oh, what's this? And they're like, oh, well, this is gelatin, and, we put it in. It helps give cheesecake the structure and stuff. I'm like, oh, all right, that's cool. You know what I mean? I think they I don't know. Some people some people might get annoyed if you ask them too many questions, but other people, when you ask them a question and they actually explain to you what it is and how it works and stuff, I think some folk like it when they get to explain something to you as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it pretty depends on the time you ask them, doesn't it?
Oh, well, yeah, you're not gonna go up in the middle of bleed. You're not gonna use your head. You're not gonna go up in the middle of dinner service and going, oh, how do you cook a steak properly? You're gonna bleeding pan thrown at you. Who's this bleeding gobshite? And get him out of here. Get out of me kitchen.
That new pot wash, he's got to fucking go.
Yeah, exactly. Good times, man. Good times.
Ooh.
Right, let's see if we can get this cut without fucking it. Here we go. Jesus. As you can tell, I'm not competent with green stuff. Any shape of form. I don't have much experience with it either. It's probably not helping. Right. We'll wet the blade, then we'll cut it. We'll go from there. Right, that's the plan. Let's see what happens. See if we can get 2 straps out of this. Alright. Go. Right. Go from there. So how did you fall into being a chef then? It was just sort of... Because this is news to me, folks. So I've rounded it already.
I lost my job through redundancy. I was working at a factory in a job that I loved, was happy, and the housing market crashed and massively affected our business. And basically, within a year, we were screwed, and we knew the writing was on the wall. And sure enough, the business had to close down, and we all got made redundant. And so I was out of work. And so I was going down the job centre and applying for all kinds of just regular jobs. And my missus's old man at the time, he was like, we had him round for dinner or whatever, and I cooked up like this 3-course meal for him. So I used to watch like well, I still do watch like cookery programs and stuff, and Gordon Ramsay and whatnot, and just made like this 3-course meal all cooked from scratch, starter, main, dessert, and everything. And it was like, this is amazing. You got a talent here. He was really good. And you ever thought about doing it for a job? I was like, nah, not really. But he just got me thinking, and I ended up applying for like an apprenticeship, and got a job in like a little like cafe, and it was mostly, like you say, pastry stuff and making cakes and stuff like that. And it just, I kind of knew very quickly, like, this just isn't for me. The boss, the owner and head chef of this cafe, I didn't really get on with her that well. It just wasn't for me. And I just thought, this is just not going anywhere. I'm not liking this. And it took a lot of the love of cooking out of me. Although a lot of my signature dishes now do come from that time, like the lemon cheesecake and the peanut butter cheesecake. And that I kind of took what she taught me, but then put my own little twist on it and tweaked things and changed things. Although it was a small little cafe, we used to make all kinds of cakes in there and things, and then supply them to other cafes and pubs and things around in the local area for theirs. So although it was a small little cafe, we were making shitloads of stuff and sending it out to loads of other cafes and restaurants. But yeah, I learnt a fair bit there. Probably learnt more than I still remember, because a lot of it's exited my brain now. But
it's always the way.
Yeah, and these days, most of my cooking is just get it out the freezer and stick it in the oven, because it's work and busy, hectic life and children to feed. You just kind of, but I do miss sort of getting down and making things from scratch a lot more.
Oh, I'm not much of a cook, but I can appreciate it. I can cook for myself. That's about it. But when I say cook, I'm like, I can boil pasta, I can fry mince, and I can throw some bleeding sauce on it. Boom, cooking.
Yeah.
Bit of grated cheese, bit of garlic bread in the old oven. Where you go there, bud.
Well, that's all you need most of the time, innit? That's all you need.
Keep you fed and dressed. Marcos is asking me what's my 1500 point list. Would you like me to rattle it off to you, Marcos? Would you like me to tell you, or would you prefer I show it in a video? Like, I can tell you now. Or
yeah, I'm gonna hold off on mine. I was thinking of doing a
Plus, there's that sneaky dread as well. You know what I mean? If this becomes common knowledge, he might decide to change his list again.
Yeah. Well, I thought about doing a sort of a work in progress one, showing what's done and what still needs to be done and things. But then I was like, I'm going to hold off until it's all done. So when I do show it off, I can show it off in one big showcase sort of thing and reveal the list and everything then. But
no, yeah, I get you. You bastard.
Motivation's just not there with this thing at the moment.
This thing's a pain in me bleeding hole. Nobody told me ground stuff would be this much of a pain in the hole. Oh, fuck it, it's sticking now. Oh well.
Rivets and Dak are talking about the Wargamers Unification Group. And saying both great groups with friendly, helpful members. The Unification Group. Guys, so the 40k community might seem like, we've come up with this genius idea of like bringing all these Orc players together and supporting. We completely stole it from Nick. It is literally, we completely stole the format and everything from the unification group, and so we'll just do that, but specifically for orcs. And that's what we've done. So yeah, you can really thank Nick for the creation of our community.
Well, yeah, Nick actually had quite a lot to do with it, because that's how we met. It was because of Nick and his unification group. So
yeah, it's how I started out doing this stuff, and where I got my initial push from, and yeah, he's been a real
champion
pillar of the community. He really has.
I agree with you there, definitely.
And he's someone I've kind of realised that he's never too busy. He's never too busy. He's got so much going on his end. So content he produces and the channel he runs and everything. He's never too busy to help or offer some advice. I've probably jinxed him there. Everyone's like, really? We spammed with messages. So Stevo said you can help out.
Stevo said, yeah. It's like, oh, Jesus, the secret's out now, mate. You can mush these together into a one piece. That'd be great. Yeah. Alright, probably not. One strap will have to do, I'm afraid. We lost the other one in the process. That's not looking too bad. I did a little patch.
Plenty.
You know? I suppose when I get that painted up, that won't look too bad. What do you think? Not bad for me, you know.
I think that looks really good myself. You can tell what it is straight away. So
this one I'm not too pleased with. I think I did the tie downs too thick. This one I think is a bit better. I don't know. I've put a bit of...
Like I said, like as soon as you look at them, you instantly know what they are, and that's half the battle there straight away. If you have to explain to someone what it is, then you haven't done it right. No, but if someone looks at that, they can see exactly what that is. Yeah, I think they look great. I think the second one looks even better, actually.
You can tell, because I started thinking, I'm like, right, if it's tied down, then there'd be folds in the tarp.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm starting to progress already. Happy days. Not too happy with that end, though. That looks a bit meh. But I won't mess with it. I know what'll happen. I'll mess around with it, and it'll go bleeding arse ways.
Yeah, it's a similar thing with the straps on the Squigs. I was like, oh, some of these are a bit thick in areas and they don't look quite right. And it's like, do you know what? You can see what they are. They look all right. How much notice is someone really going to take on the actual strap of a Squig? They're going to be much more focused on what's strapped to the Squig and the Squig itself.
Oh, yeah, it's just me personally. Like it's like with everything. It's like I'm my own worst critic. You know what I mean?
We all are,
it's like, I'm not happy with that. I'll rip it off and start again. It's like, Jesus. People are like, nah, don't do that, mate. It's grand. I'm like, no, not happy with it. It needs to go.
That's it. And the trouble is, people can tell you that, but if you're not happy with it, you're not happy with it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, it's your miniature. You're going to be looking at it. And if you're not happy with something, I can understand that. I am going to use the little extra green stuff I have here, and I'm going to roll it into a green stuff roller. Tube roller.
What is everyone else working on today? I imagine all you viewers, all 27 of you, only 11 of you have liked though. Come on, sort that out. After you've hit the like button, you can tell us what you're working on.
No stipulations there or anything.
We know who you are. We don't. We have no idea who's hit the like and who hasn't.
People send you screenshots now. I did. Look, see.
Don't, 'cause you know some smart ass fucker will.
Yeah.
Probably Roxy.
No. I don't say names. I'm not biased in that. Maybe I should use the thinner one for this. Yeah, we'll try the thinner roller.
Oh, careful. Do not splash on that. You've already literally just painted that bit.
Are you doing the cardinal sin of detail work during a stream? I told you about this.
I am. And
I told you. Multitasking, trying to talk and do detail work at the same time. It doesn't work out well.
And usually I wouldn't, but it's because I need to get this thing done. And I did sit down before, and I've got this big mech here who's literally just ready for painting. Done the metallics on him, but he is ready. And I thought, I could just get some base colours down on him. But I'm like, no, he's not in my list. At least not yet, anyway. I'm
You're
like,
not on the list. You're not getting painted.
focused.
Yeah, you're not on the list. You're not getting in.
Yeah, that's it.
Not with
That's what
those shoes, mate.
for a while. I was able to flip and change between various things because they were all going in my list. So it gave me a good bit of freedom to be able to chop and change. But now I'm kind of reached a point of no return. I'm like, no, it's literally just this stuff. There's nothing else that needs doing. Although I did get, like I said, got me Ghazghkull undercoated the other day. He's not in my list. He's in my 2K list once I reach that point. So I'm sort of thinking ahead. But yeah, got to stay focused. Got to stay focused. Well, there's literally very, very little left to do here. It's basically... It's because I'm on the really boring stage of just neatening everything up before it gets its wash.
Yeah.
And it's like you look at it like, well, it's basically done. I just got to tidy it up, get the wash. But that tidying up bit just always seems to take the longest because it's the bit where I've got to be quite perfectionist and just make sure it's all right before that wash.
Busy being your own worst enemy.
Mm-hmm.
As you do. Right, well, you asked what people are up to. Roxy said she's making silicone molds. Mostly Zen said I've posted pics on the Facebook group. Bad Moon Bill says I'm making a custom Naz Drake.
Nice.
Edvinson says shock jump dragstick conversion from a Panzer II.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Sounds interesting.
Nick Tomlin saying Death Wing close combat unit. Minutes on the Sun. Is it minutes or minutes on the Sun? I never say it correctly. Minutes on the Sun is saying making an orc fort for pictures. If he's showing off some of those new heads he sculpted, I'm like, dirty. Yeah. Marcos is who's gonna finish painting their 1500 point list first.
Until you ask, mate.
Depends who you ask. If you ask Dread will say Dread. If you ask me, I'll be like, not me. If you ask Stevo, he'll be like, meh. He'll keep it in the bag until it's like 2 brush strokes from done, and he'll be like, me.
And I'll be like, losers. I did say in the vote that I put up, I voted for Dim because I know that his is mostly already done. Anyway,
yeah, he's got a lot of stuff done.
He's leaps ahead of us because he's actually been painting for years.
But he's been green stuffing a lot lately. Dim's been
I do know that he's still got a few bits. He's got to he wants to tidy some bits up, finish some bits off, a few new bits he wants to paint. So he's got far less than the rest of us to do. But actually, that could prove to be his undoing because he'll be in a sort of a
state of complacency.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be painting miniatures here, and I'm making, I'm mucking around with green stuff tarpaulins. It's like, yeah, all right, no bother, yeah. Marcus is saying another orc building. Yeah, Marcus, we've seen in the group you've been busy building buildings, alright. Quite a few of them.
Good stuff, Marcus. Make sure you share them in my community post that I put up for the orc buildings. You probably already have actually, because I'll be making that video soon, sharing all your guys' orky buildings for the.
Oh wait, yeah. That reminds me. I don't think we've said the Discord that I've normally just been using for my channel. We've changed it over now. I just need to actually post it to the group and tell people. But the Discord is becoming my Plastic Crack one. I'm changing it. It's just gonna be the 40k orc community Discord. So we'll have our own Discord as well. I'll post that up in the Facebook group after this.
Which is very cool.
Yeah, go from there. So there you go. If you want to chat and do a hobby at the same time, we have our own Discord as well. I keep an eye on it. But yeah, you'll find bits and bobs off of all of us there eventually. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, Steve-O. Huh? Not putting the knife in or anything, We're taking lessons off of Dread. We're live. I'll make them commit to something while we're live. Yeah, then it's enshrined in stone.
Yeah, I've learnt my lesson there.
It's like, don't promise to nothing. It's like, maybe.
Don't promise nothing, then you can't disappoint.
That's it. That's it. I don't know. I need to take this guy off this base anyway, but I'll wait until that.
That's
Yeah.
why I'm committed to certain videos at certain times and certain days, because I just think I know that I'll fail. I just you get videos as and when from me. I try and do at least a couple a week, at least one a week. But yeah, sometimes you get a whole splurge of them, almost one a day for a little while, and then it goes quiet. But I do them as and when I can.
Well, this is it. I'll just do the Sunday stream. Speaking of Sunday hobby hangout streams with Skarnir, I will be doing one tomorrow at 9 p.m. So if you're free and about, feel
And
free.
who is the guest for that one?
We have Broadsword Wargaming is going to be the guest on our hobby hangout. I will post it up and share it after this stream because I've been a forgetful git who's been busy in work. I'm one of the few souls who's still working. It's weird. It really is weird the way it's like, oh yeah, life's sort of normal for me at the moment. Well, normal to a certain extent. Like, I still go to work. I still come home. You know what I mean? But when it comes to socialising, it's all changed. So, like, I've been spending a lot more time indoors than normal. But I suppose everyone's in that case. But it's weird for me in that I'm just still chipping away. And yet I have friends who've lost their jobs because the companies they're in, like the stores they work for, are gone. Like, it's strange, man. I really don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, it's a scary old time.
Weird. But I'm sure we'll get through it in the end, folks.
I've just kind of buried my head in the sand through most of it, really, and just focused on.
Yeah. You can't watch like news channels and stuff. They'll have your bleeding head melted. They will.
Yeah.
I really, you know what I mean. There's only so much of it. It's not that I ignore the news. It's like I limit my exposure to it because otherwise your head will be absolutely melted. Like one of the jobs I used to work in, they used to have the news channel on all of the time, and I was like, I can't. This is.
It's just bad news, scaremongering.
It's just one bad thing after another. I'm like, this isn't good to be. You know what I mean? This isn't good at all. It's not good for your psyche. Like, not that I'm a spiritual person, but you know, your mental health.
Definitely.
Being constantly bombarded with negative stuff. It's like, oh, all the bad shit that happens. It's like, all right, mate. All right, fair enough. There's only so much I can take, but cheers. Driven to Daka saying we'll go through Discord registration again. Alright, Grant. Well, you know what I'll actually do, which would probably help immensely, is I'll throw a link to the Discord up in the chat. That might help, like, massively.
Helping entice you gets over there.
Yeah. Here we go. There is the Discord link. That'll last for like 24 hours. There you go. Boom. There's all picture materials and stuff in there. Yeah. And any future competitions that we do will they'll all be up in there. That's normally where I run me Big Max building competitions, and I'm sure we'll have something lined up soon enough. We'll go from there. Yes. I don't know why they've done this in black when I'm probably going to paint it a khaki colour, but sure, feck it. It's not the end of the world. Or maybe I'll do them grey now. Yeah.
You're talking to someone who undercoats in black and then paints yellow, mate. So.
Oh, that is madness. All right, fair enough. I'm in good company then, am I?
Yeah, certainly.
It's like, yeah, I'm all right.
Well, a colour I've really grown to love lately is skeleton bone, because any bits I'm intended to paint like red or yellow or any other lighter colours, I paint skeleton bone over and then paint over with the yellow or the red, and it goes on like a dream.
That's what I used to do with yellows back in the day. I used to like a light bluish grey, so like Space Wolves grey and stuff. That used to be good coverage if you wanted to do yellow, because I remember back when I collected Space Wolves back in like 3rd edition or whatever. there was like the Wolf Guard had like a yellow band across their shoulder pad diagonally that went over a black shoulder pad.
Mhm.
And I remember one of the GW staff saying, "Oh, if you're looking to get good coverage, do like a blue, bluish grey. You'll get good coverage, and then you'll be it's a good base for the yellow to go over, and it works really well." Sadly, I don't have those miniatures no more. I got rid of them, but I gave them the boot so I could focus on orcs. You know what I mean? Space Wolves modeling for advantage. Yeah, I find that funny. Like when you talk to orc players, it's like, oh, I think Tyrannids are cool as well, or they've been tempted with Imperial Guard. There's been a couple who've collected Space Wolves in the past and stuff. Quite a lot of similarities in army preference. Like my favorite army to fight against is definitely the Nids. I absolutely love orcs versus Nids battle reports. The only battle reports I like more than that are orcs versus orcs battle reports. It's like, you know, not that I have any preference. Not that I'm biased, lads. You know what I mean?
I like fighting Space Marines. I think because I've got a lot of experience at fighting Space Marines, so Space Marines don't really scare me. Even though I have tough games and I do get beaten by them sometimes, I kind of know how to.
You know the ins and outs.
I know Space Marines
You know
quite.
the army.
So I kind of know what I'm up against. I know what their strengths and weaknesses are. I know what I'm dealing with. I know the units I need to avoid. I know the units I can pummel into the ground.
I get you, yeah. Paylox giving out about not getting notified by YouTube, mate.
we didn't.
Yeah, but what happens is you don't get notifications about people going live until like 2 days later, or
yeah.
Mate, I don't know what is going on with YouTube, but notifications are a joke. They just whatever.
Just when they want to.
If they want to. You know what I mean? It's just mad. Like, I think it's unrealistic to expect someone to watch every single one of your videos.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the way YouTube works now. It's like you need to have notifications, you need to be subscribed, and you need to watch nearly everything. I'll watch it all the way through and then comment and like for you not to miss out on content. I'm like, who the hell does that? Like, you know what I mean? It's just crazy. It's like YouTube want the channel to be, you know, your whole bleeding life. You know what I mean? It's mad. I don't know. Their algorithms are weird. That's enough of my YouTube rant for now. I'm like, was it a rant? Was it super ranty? I don't know.
It's fairly soft. We'll allow it.
We'll let it slide this time.
It's not a dim level of rant. So
Oh no, Dim's levels of rants are a specialty. My God, I wouldn't try to compare my rants to Dim levels of rants.
No, you gotta when he's on one, you strap yourself in and ready for a bumpy ride because he is going in both barrels.
That's it.
Balls deep.
Absolute shocking. Well, he does, you know, as long as he has a valid point, I don't mind. That's the thing. I don't mind rants when people have valid points. I'm like, do you know what? I see what you're saying there. I get you.
Yeah.
I get you. You know? But it's that now I don't agree with you, but you have to sort of wait for them to finish venting. Try cut someone off in the middle of a rant. It's like, oh, Jesus. It's not good for your health. You have to be diplomatic about it. My God, why the hell didn't we undercoat this before I decided to paint parts of it? Right, I was experimenting with these wheels. I don't care.
Yeah, sometimes if you're in a rant as well, you don't want someone to come at you with logic and reason, do you?
Oh, I did that to you recently, didn't I? You're like, this fucking thing. I'm like, well, and you're like, shut up, you.
I was at it before. I think I was working and I was sorting out all the, I was doing all the stuff for the health and safety, ready for like an audit or whatever. And I said, this is a load of bollocks. The only person that ever sees this is me and the fucking auditor. No one else ever seen it. It's not going to save any lives or nothing. He says, well, you know, it's got, and started laying on. Like, I don't want to hear this right now. All right. In 8 hours, I want to moan about it. I don't need you to tell me why it's a good thing. Just agree with me, please.
Just nod and agree. Hey, we've had Dean Radborn has subscribed. Cheers for the sub, Dean. Fair play, dude. Don't forget, if you're new to my channel and you haven't discovered Stevo's either, the way we do our two bald knob show is I'll host one and then Stevo hosts the other. So if you're looking for both shows, you need to be subscribed to both of us. You know what I mean?
You do.
Because we're crafty kids like that.
And then you need to be subscribed to the Orc War Bosses.
That's it.
If you don't want to miss that stuff, because there's going to be good stuff coming up on there. I think we're probably coming to the end for tonight, aren't we?
Yeah, well, like I haven't really gotten a lot of super progress done, but I've messed around with tarps. Like this is the first time I'm sort of sculpting them up, so I'm like experimenting with them. They look alright.
I found a bit that I lost. That was good.
That's it. You found the last bit live on stream. We witnessed.
I've got a little bit more paint on the guy done, but it's just tiny little baby steps with this guy at the moment.
But don't rush it. I think you're at the stage now with that paint job where it's like you have to take your time and you be careful. This is why I'm saying, like, anytime I'm doing painting and I want to do a stream, I just do base coats because you don't need to think much. It's just
Trouble is, everything I've got for this list now is at a stage where I'm at this sort of level of it now. So if I do that, it'll be painting something that is not for the list. But that's not necessarily a bad thing as long as I don't
get more orcs painted. There's nothing, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Looters. All about the looters myself. Right, so.
You do it.
Hopefully you've all gotten a bit of progress done. Post up in the Warhammer Orc community. Join the Discord if you're not part of the Discord. And we'll catch you in the next one. Is there anything else I'm missing out on? Subscribe to your channel. Subscribe to mine. Hit like buttons, notifications.
Hit the bells on all of the channels. Check my channel tomorrow because I'll have a video up tomorrow.
I have a stream tomorrow, so tomorrow you have loads of Orky content. You should be up to your eyeballs.
Yeah, I'll be watching tomorrow, so I will get a lot of progress done. So
there you go. See, you can get your painting done then.
All right, guys, thank you very much. I'll say my bit now. 6+ Stevo, signing out.
And it's good boy from Skarnir saying, don't forget to drill your barrels.
Hey.